Good morning. I have so much to do today. I'm not looking forward to it, but welcome to another weekly reading vlog with me. I have no idea what I'm going to be reading, but I figured I'd take you along. Besides the fact that I'm currently reading A City of Mirth and Malice, which is the sequel to A House of Blood and Bane. Bane and Blood? House of Bane and Blood. I started this in the last weekly reading vlog. I'm 50% in. I'm loving it, enjoying it. I'll give you more updates as I go. It is so freaking good though. 5-star feels completely. I am about to be home alone for the week. So today I'm about to hop on a Stardew stream because I do that every Monday morning. And after that, I need to go grocery shopping for the week. Otherwise, it's so hot here. I know that if I don't prep myself, I'm gonna order takeout every single night, and I don't want to be doing that. So I'm gonna go try and get some like no heat meals of some sort. Maybe a lot of salads and sandwiches for the week because it's far too hot in my house. The cabin had AC and I really miss it. And then, I don't know what else I'm going to do this week. I have some photography work I need to get done. I'm also thinking about upgrading a bookshelf, so I might head to IKEA either today or another day. I wish this was such a chill Monday. I love chill Mondays. I love to do absolutely nothing on Mondays, pretty much. Play video games, read books, don't do much of anything else. But this Monday, it's not happening. Okay, bye. It's time for a grocery haul. I ended up going with my mother to the Italian center. We had lunch. Delicious. We had a little pizza, arugula, prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, like bocconcini balls, and balsamic glaze. It's literally to die for. I love that you can go there and like get a coffee and a pizza before you go grocery shopping, which is good because grocery shopping while you're hungry is a really bad idea. So this way we were full. But I got a lot of stuff for the week. I'm trying to do like no heating meals. The number one thing I knew I needed was like breads. Do I need this much bread? No, but did I get this much bread? Yes. These are really good for like an Italian sandwich, and I will probably have some of these. I got a Kaiser for like burrata. This is just like a more flat looking crusty. And then for dinners one night, I know I want to have like Greek wraps. So pita wraps. I didn't buy any hummus or anything though. A bag of wild arugula. Arugula is to die for in my opinion. It is my favorite leafy green. Who needs lettuce when you have arugula? It's a little bit peppery. It has more flavor than lettuce, which I like. That'll go on sandwiches, salads, whatever, Greek pita wraps. Cilantro. I'm a cilantro girly. I know not everyone likes cilantro. Let me know if you think it tastes like soap. I understand why people think it tastes like soap, but I think it tastes like delicious soap. Like if soap was to die for, it would taste like cilantro. It smells so good too. I just like smelled that. Yum. Tomatoes. We actually have a lot of tomato plants, so I don't know if I actually needed these, but I needed a couple big ones for sandwiches, and I'm not sure if we have enough big ones. We will have like cherry tomatoes in like salads and stuff that are from our garden. A nice big old red onion. I want to have a salad that will have this in it. Fresh chopped up. Peaches. This is probably going in that salad as well as sandwiches. I love fresh peaches in anything in the summer. Basil. I also might make summer rolls again, which I made last week, and basil's really good in those as well. The stars of the show for me are the cheeses. I bought fresh burrata. If you've never had burrata, it's like a mozzarella ball, and then inside there's like creamy mozzarella. I love it. Sandwich. Gonna have burrata sandwiches. And then I bought fresh mozzarella for that salad I was talking about. I'll just like rip it up and put it in the salad. Prosciutto for my sandwiches, as well as some capicola for like that Italian sandwich I talked about. They have lychee, so I bought lychee. This is like Southeast Asia fruit. If you've never had them, they're kind of like a grapey texture, but they don't taste like a grape. They're really good. They're in like a little shell and you rip them open and eat them. And then I did buy myself an Arizona to drink tonight. I probably should have got a second one. I love these. I bought a raspberry one this time. I'm gonna have a lychee unless this dies, but you can see what it looks like. Also, if you watched my last vlog, I ended it saying that I got antibiotics for my rash. It's already looking a lot better. This is what it looks like, and you're gonna like, oh, it's splooged everywhere. Peel it open. They don't look very appetizing, but they're delicious. And then it kind of looks like this, and but there's a seed inside, so don't eat that. This was not a good lychee. It was not sweet enough. It might have been overripe. It was going a little sour, but they're one of my favorite like fruits to eat. When it's 11 o'clock at night and I realized I did not eat. Theo, you're not allowed up there. So I made myself a sandwich, but I'm going to bed after I eat this. It's because Nick decided to stream, which was absolutely hilarious. We convinced him to play Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's dark back there. Nick is not a horror movie person. He absolutely hates them. And he screamed himself Tilly Probably Has No Voice, and it was great. I loved it. I'm a terrible girlfriend, but I love watching people who don't like scary things react to scary things. It's my all-time favorite pastime. We are in the car. We are gonna run some errands. Honestly, I just really want Starbucks, so we're gonna get Starbucks. I might go to a bookstore. I am 100 pages into the one. This is my audiobook that I'm starting for the week. I think I honestly could finish it like in the next day or two. It's a really quick read. I'm getting through it really quickly. I've barely been listening like for like a long time. I'm already so far in. I'm really enjoying this. It jumps right into the action. It's fast paced. I really like that in a thriller. And like there are like some mystery and intrigues, but it's not all just like very psychological. Like it's a fast-paced, action-packed story in my opinion, which is kind of what The Passengers was as well, but The Family Experiment was a little bit more slow. So I am definitely enjoying this more than The Family Experiment. I think I could be actually enjoying it more than The Passengers too at this point. I'm like really intrigued by every like storyline. This book is about a dating app. It's called Match Your DNA, and essentially you can get your DNA swabbed and then it'll tell you who your perfect match is, who you're supposed to be with, like your soulmate. And so we're following people who do that and meet their matches, but like what if your match already is in a relationship? What if you're in a relationship and you guys aren't matches? And there's one character that I'm really liking. I like that storyline quite a bit. So let's go get a coffee. Can I get that half sweet? And then can I add a shot of blonde espresso to that? And add sweet cream cold foam? And can I get a chocolate croissant as well? Thank you. I did not get anything at this chapters. I am going to go to the other chapters because I think I also want to go to like Michael's. Not surprised, Trad Pup has been failing me, so there's that. And all the fanro that gets picked up traditionally, I've already read since I'm kind of on top of it. I'm not having a good errand day. Michael's was also a bust. Didn't buy anything at either bookstore. I was going to walk over to Staples, but I think I'm just going to go home. I should probably do some work. Errands might have failed me today, but Fabled did not, and I got a book box. A book box book today. I'm actually expecting another one, but it didn't come through Canada Post, so it should be here today at some point, and I'm really excited. It is my Dirty Diction Fiction Bridge Kingdom one. If it doesn't come today, it'll come tomorrow, but the tracker says today. I'm not actually sure what book this is. Wait, it's so pretty. This is such an old book. Everyone else got this one so long ago, but I'm so excited to finally have my hands on it. This is stunning. Fabled always does such a good job, and their books feel like very serious. My copy of this essentially got lost. I ended up getting a discount because they ended up being digitally signed since they had to rush it because everyone else had theirs like probably 2 months ago. But like it, honestly, I don't really care if my book is signed, so it was fine with me. But like look at that end paper. Stunning. This says don't lose faith in magic. Evie? Unsure. And on the back it says keep at least a flicker of it alive in your heart and know no matter how far you go, you can always come back home. The little edge has a moon on it. The back end paper is some daggers. The only thing I don't love is the paper is really white. I'm definitely a little bit more impressed with my edition of Flame and Sparrow, but like that edition is so stunning. It doesn't get a lot better than that. And then this is what like the entire dust jacket looks like. I am 50% through the one right now. I'm enjoying it, but it lost the 5-star vibes for me. I'm kind of confused where the thriller is at this point. Like when I read The Passengers by John Mars, there was clearly like a thrilling aspect. You were on a roller coaster ride. There was an end goal, I guess is how to explain it well enough. Like there was a reason for us to go on this journey. This just kind of feels like society discussions on what something like this would do, and it is interesting, but I want more of something to follow. There's only one POV that I feel like I'm really excited to read about, or I guess two because it's like a couple, because there is this like holy crap when she finds out what is gonna happen, and it feels like thrilling in their POVs. But the other POVs, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of bored of those. I'm not bored, I shouldn't say I'm bored, but I just like want more out of them. I want there to be a connecting factor of something, and maybe I'll get there by the end, because having read John Mars before, I think that he does typically have an ending reveal that connects everything. But I'm not like absolutely obsessed, but it's such a quick read. I think it's gonna end up being a 4-star, but I'm sad it's not the 5-star I wanted. I only give The Passengers 4 stars too. I do understand why it would make a really good TV show, and I'm really excited to watch the TV show. I am just about to work on my reading journal. I printed out some stuff for it. So I'm excited to do that. It's Romantasyathon this weekend, so I needed to get up to date with my Romantasyathon bingo spread. And because I loved the Everking and House of Bane and Blood, I'm gonna start doing some kind of thing for them. It's too hot here and I don't want to work or do anything, so this is what I'm doing, but I have a lot of work to be doing or reading. Like sitting down and concentrating on a book sounds kind of awful right now, where like an audiobook is fine and I can audiobook the one while I do this. I also need to start thinking of my Battleathon spread. The other thing I was going to talk to you about is this is like my craft space, and so this wall is where my TV is on in my bedroom, but this is like a little cubby and there's just like this empty wall, and I am going to put a shelf up there at some point with like some books, but I'm thinking, I wonder if it would look cute. I need some advice. If I like collaged this back wall, I could technically collage this wall too, but I think the back wall, or like there's a wall right here as well that you just never see that I could collage. Like sometimes I get bookish art, like prints and stuff that I don't put anywhere. So I'm like, what if I started like collaging them on this wall behind me? Thoughts? But I also really like the lighting in this little cubby because it's all white. So I don't know. I'm making dinner. I'm gonna make Italian sandwiches, I think, and a little like fresh mozzarella salad. I have 30 minutes before I have to watch Vampire Diaries with my Patreon, so I gotta get on it. It's so hot. I'm so sweaty. So I'm happy that I don't actually have to cook anything, and I'm getting hungry. Like I got hungry real quickly in the last 20 minutes, so let's get the goods. I got myself a nice ice cold glass of water. I just finished watering the garden, which takes like an hour to do, if not more than that. It's not even that hot out today, but listen, it's still hot enough that I don't want to be watering a garden for like, honestly, it probably took me an hour and 20 minutes to water the whole thing. My parents are a little extreme on their gardening. With that, I also have some book updates because I was listening to audiobooks while I watered. That's how I read so much. Like that's my number one tip. Like put an audiobook in while you're doing your makeup. Things that don't require a lot of thought process. Like my brain can be empty and just be listening to the book. I finished the one. I think I'm giving this one 3 stars, which is sad because at one point I was like, oh, it's gonna be a 5-star. I think I read it too close to The Family Experiment by John Mars. John Mars, after reading so many books by him, this is the 3rd book I've read, he has a type of story that he is writing. It is the same story in my opinion with a different gimmick, and the gimmick is really cool. Like this one has the like perfect match thing. The Family Experiment had like a reality show with AI children. The passengers had cars being taken over. Miley, you're not allowed up there. Miley, whatever, I don't want to move her. I like the gimmicks. I think they're cool. I think they make really, really interesting conversations. I think he does a lot of societal issues well, but they're so formulaic now that like I read this too close to another one. I was gonna read the Minders like pretty much back to back after this, but I think I'm gonna take some time. I think I need to forget his formula a little bit before I dive into the next one. Cause like, I don't know, I enjoyed this one, but like just not as much because I kind of feel like I knew what was going to happen just because of this formula. But overall, I still enjoyed this. Maybe it's a 4-star. Check back in my wrap up to figure out what I actually end up giving this. So I finished that, but I was only done the backyard of the garden. I told you the garden's huge. So I still have to do the front yard and the potato buckets on the side of my garage. So I needed to pick up another audio, so I decided to pick up Nectar of the Wicked. I've seen so many of my besties giving this 5 stars. I need to be obsessed with it. Mel gave it 5 stars from Eleanor Reads. Tori, I think, gave it 4 stars from Tori Between the Pages. Erin from Booked and Busy gave it 5 stars. And these are my like romantic girlies. These are the girlies that like I'm obsessed with what they're reading. So I hope that I am obsessed with this, especially because I have this stunning Fairy Loot edition. I'm not very far in. I've listened to, I think, half an hour, 40 40 minutes of the audiobook. Like, I'm literally only about 35 pages in. I'm just in setup still, and I'm intrigued. I definitely, when I first saw this on Fairy Loot's Romantasy box, thought it was going to be very whimsical and was scared of it, but I've been since told there's a lot of good banter and enemies to lovers vibes. I'm not there yet. It still feels a little whimsical. There's like a goblin in a cupboard, but we're essentially following, maybe it's not a cupboard, maybe he's just somewhere weird, but there's a goblin thingy. We're essentially following our main character, who is a changeling, meaning that she's half fairy of some sort, and at some point she was swapped out with a human baby. So she's growing up in the human world as a changeling, and what that means, and when the person who took responsibility of her was like the human baby's mom. Can you, Miley, why are you such a gremlin? Can you spot her? She's in this fake tree. Kittens. When the person who is her owner is murdered by the Fae, she doesn't know what to do from there on, and that's literally all I've gotten so far. So I will give you a better, like, monkey see, monkey do. Oh, Theo fell out. He's too big. He's so much bigger than her already. I'll give you a better summary like once I'm farther into this book and like figure out everything. As I said, I'm not far in, but so far it is a little more whimsical than I want it to be, but I'm hoping that when we meet the love interest, I will really vibe. As I say with my fan row taste, I love to give a book until I meet the love interest, because that can really make or to break it for me in a story. Like, if it's got good banter and like I'm obsessed with the couple, it's an easy 5-star from me. Now, I do have packages. I feel like this is gonna be a really long clip. This is a book, so let's open it first. I don't know what it is though. What did I buy? Oh! Did I just get this early? Why did I not think this was out for another week? Oh my god. Wait, what? It could have been out today, but I didn't think so. This is not out till tomorrow, and I got it early. Oh my god. Ash and Feather. Do I drop everything and I read this? I mean, there's no audiobook, so I'll still listen to Nectar of the Wicked. I still need to finish City of Mirth and Malice though. I need to read this. Also, the colors are stunning. This is gonna look so pretty on my shelf. This is the sequel to Flame and Sparrow. I'm obsessed with Flame and Sparrow. I own 3 editions of Flame and Sparrow. And like, yes, I always say to people, the first 30% of Flame and Sparrow took me a lot to get into. If you go back and watch the vlog that I read that in, I thought about DNFing in the first 30%, but once I met our love interest, I was sold. And then I on a cliffhanger. And now all I'm thinking about is reading Ash and Feather. I can't believe I got this early. I was not expecting this. I did pre-order it, but like, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that's so exciting. I also ordered this. It's not a book. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's boring stuff, but I needed more ink. I keep using my printer for my reading journal, and so I keep running out of colored ink. This whole vlog is just gonna be unboxing, so I will have another unboxing tomorrow, because I also got a slip that says I have something to pick up at the post office tomorrow. My Dirty Diction Fiction editions of the Bridge Kingdom came. I have to be kind of careful unboxing with these. There is not safe for work art in these, which I can't show on YouTube. YouTube will like literally ban my account. I will be a little extra careful, but I did want to show you guys. Also, this is a Canadian company, so this got to me so quickly. I remember I got the shipping order saying that like, oh, your box is shipped, and I was like, yay, I'll see it in 6 weeks, because that's what I'm so used to. I get all of my editions so late. Like, all of my friends, like me, Mel, and Claire have a group chat where we like send all our special editions, and they're always sending them to me like 4 weeks before I even get mine, I swear. I do like that there is a cute little spicy sticker on. I love these spines. I'm so excited. I didn't think I really liked the art that much on the slipcase. I'm not really a slipcase person, to be honest, but I like it more than I expected to. But I definitely got them for like the actual books. I'm definitely not a fan of the not safe for artwork. It's just like not for me. Out of the plastic, these look so shiny in there. These little edges are so pretty. I'm so excited to have that on my bookshelf. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Like those, also those painted edges, that is so pretty next to each other. I'm obsessed. Look at her. She's just down there. She looks stunning on the little Bridge Kingdom. With her knife behind her back. That fits like the vibe of like the second cover, not the original cover, but the second cover that we recently had. I love this. And we can see like the gate into the bridge. The back has like a ship on it and some writing. And the Trader Queen, which I like even more than the Bridge Kingdom, has him, oh my god, right there being kind of arrested. And then we have the back is the kingdom. These are so pretty. They feel really nice too. I love the edges. Okay, I have made it, I want to say a third, just over a third into Nectar of the Wicked. I'm really contemplating a DNF, but it hasn't been that long. Like, I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm reading through it really quickly, and I do hate DNFing. I'm just not a big DNFer, so I might continue. You can just tell how hot I look in these videos. I don't think the story is for me, although Mel in her video, she just put her vlog out where she read this, and she did say the second half was better, and she texted me and said the main character does get some agency. Well, she says she gets a backbone in the second half, and that's one of my struggles with this is, one, our main character just seems to have no agency. She's just kind of going with the flow of what's happening to her, and that's just like something I don't really like to see. Like, I like to see a main character fighting back. It's something I enjoy in my books. And the other thing I think that's not working for me is the smut level. One, I truly have learned I really don't like to read about virgins in my fan row. It's a trope that doesn't work for me. It's something that I know, it makes me cringe a lot of the time, because maybe about me and my sexuality and how, like, I don't think that as much pressure needs to be put on your first time as there is, and I think it makes it scarier and more daunting and things like that. So that could be like a me issue. I think I could understand why people who feel like sex is so sacred would like that virgin trope. I feel like I'm kind of contradicting myself though, because when I talked about the synopsis, I told you about how she's a changeling and she's under a guardian. So when her guardian dies, she's left to pay off the debt for her guardian. She ends up having to work at a pleasure house, and that's where she meets this fae. Since she's in a pleasure house, she obviously has pleasure with this one fae. She has one client who's really interested in her. And I wish there was insta love, but it's just insta sex. I don't like to read about sex for sex either, which is funny because I say like I don't put a lot of pressure on sex, and like I don't think it's this like as sacred thing, but there's something about my reading thing where like I also don't want to read it for no reason, and like I feel like these two are just having sex to have sex, and there's like a lot of hot and heavy in this first half. Like, honestly, probably 10 pages after I last checked in on you was their first time doing something sexual. It wasn't like intercourse. They technically haven't had intercourse yet. Nothing's entered anyone. Well, at least a certain hole. Nothing has entered. There's something about just lust sex that doesn't work for me in books. Like, I'm reading this book for the romance, not the smut, and so if I don't feel the romance, then I don't care about the smut. I don't know if that made any sense. I was gonna make myself a sandwich, but ended up just making myself a bunch of tomato slices with burrata and prosciutto on it as like a little snack, and I'm just gonna eat this like this. Now look, it's Mel in the background talking about the sequel to this book. Hi, Mel! Listen, I caved and I ordered McDonald's for dinner, and I got it delivered to my house. Also, my sister and me have been talking about what the best sauce is. I'm a sweet and sour girly, but she is a hot mustard. I don't like hot mustard. But let me know down below what your go-to sauce is for your nuggets. We don't need to talk about the book right now. That's why I ordered this, to make myself feel better. Come with me to run some errands this morning. We need to go to the post office at some point to pick up my package that I think is the bookish box. I need to let my sister's dog out. My sister works long days. I haven't done this in a long time. She's been going on her breaks, but today she texted and asked if I could just go let her dog out for a pee break so she doesn't have to drive all the way home. I'm gonna pick up coffee because I need that. I might pick up crumble cookie, and I need to go to the library as well to pick up a book. I did not realize it's raining. I probably need a sweater. I love that I was trying to look cute today. I put on like a little black crop top, and then the weather is like this. So a sweater it is. I did pull out a Halloween sweater. By pull out, I mean it was next to the door. So I've worn it recently. And before we start my journey, I do have some reading updates to talk to you about. The first one is Nectar of the Wicked. This will be short. I'm giving this book 2 stars. I did not like it. All the things I've already told you about it were an issue for me. I also just felt like there was very little plot. Like, the plot was shoved into the last, 40 pages of this book. It was all smut. And I have realized I can appreciate a spicy romance. But I need plot. Still, not plot. I don't know what I need. Honestly, it's very confusing because I don't necessarily need plot, but I need something other than just smut leading me on, whether that's a plot, whether that's the character interactions, whether that's epic world building, and I just feel like I was lacking any of that. This entire book was lust, and I couldn't root for them. I didn't care about any of the characters. I truly didn't care what happened to her. I didn't care about this Dark King. I liked the last 40 pages the best out of the whole thing, and honestly, I read this all yesterday because it just read so quickly. Like, I would have DNF'd it, to be honest, but by the time I was halfway through, I was like, I have an hour
and a half of the audiobook left. That's it. Like, it's so quick that I'll finish it. Regrets. Shouldn't have finished it. I don't know where I was going with this piece of information about why I read it so quickly. The other thing is, this edition, although absolutely stunning and I love, doesn't give me the vibes of this book at all. Like, at all, which is kind of a pet peeve with me in edition sometimes. I want them to match the vibes of the book and also be really stunning. But I also have better reading news for you. I'm gonna turn this up a little because I also decided to buckle up after I finished this and was like, I need something good in my life, and finish the last half of City of Mirth and Malice. Adore this series. This honestly is in the running for my favorite book of the year. I loved the second one even more than the first one. I'm giving them both 5 stars. I read the first half of this in my last weekly vlog that was up on my channel, and I read House of Bane and Blood in the vlog right before that, so I am doing a decent binge of this series. And this just breathed new life into the fantasy romance genre for me. This felt like something different. I didn't know I needed this story. I didn't know I needed Peaky Blinders fantasy romance. I didn't know I needed a marriage of convenience with essentially gangs and motorbikes and hot guys with tattoos until I read this. And now I need more, whether it's just more of this style, but really I need more from this author. I need the third book, whether it's a standalone, a duology, a continuation, because I don't actually know. I was trying to find any, well, it does say on the back, return to Lynch Haven in this action-packed and swoony conclusion of Nico and Mila's story. So the third book will be following a new couple, which is fine. I really enjoyed this wrap-up of their story. I loved them, and I'm excited to see some of the side characters get some love in the next books then. I need more. I need more in this world. I need more of the story. I like that there was a good plot that wrapped up within this duology, but left an Easter egg for more to come. I really enjoyed that. Also, I love that the conflict in the story is not the relationship. They are not at odds. They are not constantly fighting. This is why I like duologies. This is why I like this new series of like a series set of duologies or standalones, because I don't need to watch my couple break up at the end of every single book. And I find in a duology they don't have to do that. They don't even need to do it in the first book. This just, it's them against the world. It's them fighting for their love. It's not them fighting against their love. And I loved that, like, so much. It is so refreshing. This is so refreshing. It's so good. If you have not read this series, please pick it up. There's a metal hand, and in the second book, he gets metal hand upgrade. And let me say, she could replace a ding dong with his metal hand and be perfectly happy for the rest of her life. At least I know I would be. I can't. I don't know what else to say. I just, like, absolutely love this. Oh, also, it's just so well written that, like, there's a betrayal in this that is so well done because it's so freaking obvious. But, like, you're just hoping the entire time that you're wrong. And I love it. I loved it so much. It was so heartbreaking to read. It was so incredible. Amazing. Chef's kiss. I love this series. Ugh, I need more. I'm really just in the lookout for new romantasy that feels so new and fresh to me, and this really did. Like, I can't get over this series. Please pick it up. Okay, I think I've talked enough. We can go run our first errands. I think we're gonna let Porty out. We're gonna get coffee first, and then we're gonna let Porty out. My sister's dog is named Porter. I call him Porty, or Porpy, or Porpoise, or Porposaurus, or a porta potty. Like, porta puppy, we call him every single name in the books. So we're gonna go let him out. Coffee. Also, my hand is doing a lot better. It still looks rough in the video, but it's doing so much better. The, like, hives are gone. Can I get a large iced vanilla latte? We don't need to talk about how I went into Crumble for a 1 cookie and came out with 4. Also got my coffee. Come here. Are those Chinese menus hit up in my dad's thing? That's funny. Listen, I'm impatient, so we're opening in the Sobeys, which is my post office. My post office in a Sobeys, so we're opening it in the Sobeys parking lot. Let's see what I got. I think it's Bookish Box. Yes, I'm correct. Do I know what month? No, because they are so far behind that, like, how am I ever supposed to keep up with what I'm supposed to be getting when it's 3 months behind? Oh, that's pretty. It is Sanctuary of Shadows. Listen, I've heard no good things about this book besides Monica and Kitty, who both loved it, but I feel like the rest of the world has all agreed that this is not a good book. However, this edition is really, really stunning, so I'm hoping that I can just vibe behind it. The chances of me doing that, slim to none, but we are going to attempt it. I really like that. Listen, I haven't liked a lot of bookish box editions. I will be quite honest. There's always something wrong with them. I will say that my dust jacket is slightly warping right here. You can't see it at all, but like it doesn't really fit and there's like a bump on this side. But it's fine. Everything is fine because the rest of this is really working for me. Look at that foil. The back is really stunning as well. I really like the edge and the spine. The end pages? The naked book? Oh my god. I have to like this. This is circus. This is stunning. Okay, but the end pages. Let me show you. The fortune teller. The wraith. Someone just pulled it next to me. This is the reverse dust jacket art. I will say, as with bookish normally, I find their art a little too dark, especially when they do these big black ones. However, I'm obsessed with this, so I will not be using this side, because this side is so stunning. I love, like, the cage and the wings, and, like, this is an addition from them that I'm actually excited about. Yep, I wish it was a book I was actually excited about, but here we are. Maybe it'll surprise me. It has been known to happen once or twice a year. It's already happened probably 3 times this year, so how many once or twices do we have left? But maybe I have to save it and read it next year. Okay, now we're going home. I need to film a TBR. I'm really struggling with wanting to film my TBR. I've been putting it off. I just don't really know what I'm in the mood to read. And I feel like I just keep talking about all the same books in every single TBR, and it's like stressing me out a little bit. But we do need to film one so that I can get it out before this video goes up. Actually, it'll be out. Okay, bye. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is more disappointed in me than myself, but I caved and I ordered dinner 2 nights in a row. We can just pretend I didn't say earlier this week how good I was gonna be and how I bought groceries to make things. I got burnt out on sandwiches real quick, and it's not hot today, so I really had no excuse not to cook. But yet, here I am. I ended up ordering Remedy, which is like a cafe here, and they make really good butter chicken. So I ordered butter chicken, and I'm really excited to eat it. And then I'm hopping on Patreon sprints for the night. We're doing some friendly. I'm having friends on sprints tonight. Mel and Lexi are joining me on Patreon sprints. And we're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna start Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I've heard from a couple people that I could really like this. I'm really excited. Hopefully I have updates for you in a bit. Some good updates. Also, I tried to take pictures with the cats earlier, and if I did not get their personalities down to a peak, because this picture of Theo, adorable. He looked right at the camera. He posed. He's my sweetest little boy. And I was like, okay, let's try with Miley. She wouldn't sit still for a second. I've never had her try to get out of my hands faster. She does not like to take pictures. My little chaos gremlin. Hello. I had to go let Porter out again this morning, and I ended up stopping at the like Shell gas station because I wanted an Arizona. I've been on an Arizona kick lately and getting them whenever I see them. I don't know what, they've just been like really like, it's like a craving for me currently. Like I just like remembered how much I love them. And yesterday I went to Sobeys and they didn't have them. And then today at the Shell they also didn't have them, and they just kind of replaced them with these like peace teas. So I decided to try a peace tea, but this is like Coca-Cola brand, and I'm expecting it to be really sweet and sugary, but this is my first time trying it, and I'm just hoping it like scratches that itch. So let's try it. Oh, it smells good. I got the raspberry one, the razzleberry. Oh, that smells really good. It's okay. I feel like it's definitely more sugary than an Arizona and less like green tea, but I like it. I also picked up an Airhead because I saw my little cousins eating these last week, and ever since I've been thinking about how I hadn't had an Airhead in so long. So I picked up an Airhead, which we're gonna eat. But first off, I'm gonna tell you about Quicksilver. Romantasyathon is starting tonight, so I'm hoping that I will be able to finish this tonight, but it's also a really long book. I'm about 17% in, and I'm kind of obsessed. I was like, first 4 chapters was like 5-star prediction. Like first 4 chapters had me so obsessed that I was like, I'm gonna give this 5 stars. To be fair, a lot has changed since those first 4 chapters. There's a setting change, and it has become more fae, which I have been looking for things that aren't fae. I don't know why, but like fae is out in my head, even though like I keep being obsessed with fae stories still. But the first 4 chapters, impeccable.
Chapter 5 lost me for a bit, but I decided I was just gonna vibe, and then like pretty much back in chapter 6, I was back on my 5-star vibe train. We're following our main character who lives in like a desert land, essentially, in these first couple of chapters, and she is the bottom of the totem pole. She is isolated to the 3rd district, and the 3rd district is where they put their like poor and poverty, and they say that they have a plague and they're diseased and they aren't allowed to leave this district. They are given 6 ounces of water per day as a ration, and it is the leftover water from the other places. So very dystopian vibes, like they're not getting enough to live. It's essentially where they put people, like this is where people are, they're dying constantly, and so most of the people in this 3rd district become like thieves and stuff. So we follow our main character, who of course is thieving to survive. We see her thief something from the warriors, a golden like bracelet that is something about their status. She realizes that this is all the money she could ever need to like live and survive. However, this is the most dangerous thing she's ever done. She ends up being captured for her thievery. This is all in the first 4 chapters. I don't think it's a spoiler because it explains what the story is, in my opinion, in the synopsis. We see her get captured, and in her capture, when she is going to be killed, she uses sort of a magic which is outlawed and illegal, and we find out that the Fae are actually real and they want to take down the queen that runs this like desert land. We see the queen, the desert land queen, once, and she's absolutely batshit crazy. She has off her rockers, and I was obsessed with it. Like I loved the chapter with her. It was one of my favorite chapters just because it was like so creepy and crazy, and you felt this crazy woman that like is insane, and I like loved it. I loved it so much. Like who knew what was going to come out of her mouth? Now we're in like the Feylands. The setting really changes. It's wintry now, and I'm not a big winter romantasy girly, is something I've learned. They seem to have like a very like repetitive nature to them that just doesn't work for me. They're very like similar in terms of how the world works, but I'm not feeling that in this one, which is nice. I'm feeling it feels different than all the other ones I've read, like Slaying the Frost King and The Witch Collector. And there's another one that I don't like that I can't remember right now that's also wintry. But we've now met our love interest, and he is an asshole, but like also like kind of seems like he's gonna be sweet at heart, and like he has like family who really cares for him, but like the rest of the world thinks he's an asshole. And I feel like that is a little microtrope that I'm loving these days. Like this, like he's known as a big bad, but like he's a big softie at home and at heart. And I know I'm excited to adventure into their story because we haven't gotten a lot of them together yet. This is pretty intense world building. It's a pretty intense story being set up. It's a pretty big book, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It is giving me vibes of the Elise Kova Duel with the Vampire Lord. They just have like similar themes and like plot progression to them, but I wouldn't say that either of those are the most unique themes or plot progression. Like you see them in a lot of stories. There's just like a lot of similarities between these two, and I have read them both this year, so it's easy for me to see. Anyways, I'm excited to see more of the two of them together. I like our main character quite a lot. She's spunky, she's fighting for her life, things like that, and I like the world around her. She seems smart, she's asking questions, but she's also listening, and she's not like, she's willing to like risk it and say things that she shouldn't, but she also knows when to shut her mouth sometimes. Like, I'm really enjoying her, so I'm really excited for this one. This is my first book that I would like to get done for Romantasyathon this weekend. I don't know what trope it's counting for, but it'll fit on the board somewhere. I have a lot left. I'm not finishing it this month, but I tried. Okay, sprints have officially started, and I am just doing a dinner sprint for my first sprint. I'm starving. It is only 4:30, but like all I ate today was a cookie. So I'm going to heat up some butter chicken from last night because I did have leftovers. I'm excited for that, and then we're gonna curl on up and we're gonna read some Quicksilver. We're already giggling so much on sprints. Like it's so fun. Like I love when you have the right vibe on sprints and everyone's just like getting along, and that's like, it's a perfect vibe tonight in my opinion. So I'm really excited. In true vlog chaos, I ended up picking up the Book of Azrael this morning. I always need an audiobook going. I always have the cats of the zoomies. I always have something like getting ready in the morning, making food, cleaning, playing with the cats. Like an audiobook is a required thing for me. I can just get through them a lot easier and faster most of the time. Although I'm still reading Quicksilver, I literally fell asleep reading Quicksilver. Like my eyes closed as I was reading it. Like I fell asleep reading. I'm loving it. I just knew I needed an audiobook. 20% into the Book of Azrael, And the first 10% I was so into, like vibing so hard. And then we got his POV and I'm a little bit unsure now. I'm a little bit meh about it. I don't really care about what's happening in his POVs. We are info dumping, even though I feel like the first 5 chapters were already info dumping. So like, I feel like some of the setup should have been done. I'm 20% in and it feels like I'm back at the beginning, but it is a pretty long book. It's a pretty long series. So I get that they're setting up a lot. I'm liking the world. It's like angels and demons style, almost like heaven and hell. And I'm intrigued by some of like the mystery and the intrigue of what like probably really happened and went down, to who this guy is that is the big bad. But like, we're also kind of on his side for a little bit at the beginning, but like we're not on his side because he's evil. But like, if you've read it, you'll get it. So like, I'm just struggling a little bit, but I do have it on good authority that like it does get better in his POVs. So the zoomies are real. Like, I'm still really excited to keep going. I guess that's it. I think it's hard too because I'm loving Quicksilver so much, but there's that. That's all. That's my update for the day. We are on morning sprints for Romantasyathon and vibing. I got an Amazon package. I don't know what it is, so let's open it. I think the only thing I ordered wasn't supposed to get here until tomorrow. I didn't think this was supposed to get here till tomorrow. It's the Quicksilver paperback. I'm obsessed with this book. I think I told you I'm about 40% in and I'm giggling, squealing. The way that these two go at each other makes me so happy. At one point, because he calls her human all the time, or Osha, which means like a little butterfly, she hates it. And she's like, you know I have a name. And he was like, I don't care what your name is. And she's like, either call me my name or nothing at all. And he just starts calling her nothing at all. He'll be like, go do this, nothing at all. It makes me giggle so much. You can just tell they're going at each other because they're interested in each other and like they're flirting. And it's not actually like rude, but they're flirting. And I don't know. I love it so much. We are now on horses. Not one horse, but it's still doing it for me because they're like trapped on these horses in like a dark forest. It's working. I'm vibing. I'm loving this. This is a good one. A good boy. I do have some reading updates for you, but we're gonna head to Tim Hortons because I have sprints in about an hour on Tori's channel for Romantasyathon. I want to do some good reading and I feel like I need a coffee, a bagel, and maybe some Timbits. So we're gonna go get those. My dad's car is really not made for vlogging. I'm just waiting in line in the Tim Hortons line and I needed to give you an update that I did DNF the Book of Azrael. I was watering the garden, listening to the audiobook, and was just like, I don't know what's happening. And I don't care to know what's happening. And that's why I don't know what's happening, because I'm so not in this story. It was so much info dumping, so much plot, so much that I didn't care about. We were just like learning new things constantly. It felt very boring. Like I don't know, I didn't connect to the characters at all, to be honest, after we were introduced to him. And normally like the love interest, the male love interest does it for me in a romantasy. I need to be obsessed with them. And for him, I was just like, we could go back to the other guy, the like murdering psychopath. And honestly, I also didn't really care about her story. We kept going off about her sister. And I was like, listen, your sister deserves better than what you're putting her through right now. So yeah, it just wasn't for me. I'm deciding to DNF, bless and release, more time to focus on the books I'm actually liking, which we do also have an update on because I am 60% into Quicksilver currently and absolutely loving it. Although I say that, I am at a point right now where I need like something to change in the story. I do need a little bit of like plot progression or like them to open up to each other. I'm sorry if I'm overexposed. It's been very enemies to lovers, bantery, things like that I do like, but at some point I need them to like connect a little bit more, and I think we're coming up to that point. The last few scenes have felt like they're leading up to that, so I'm okay with that. This book is very like epic to me. Like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different types of creatures and magic and things like that, and I'm liking that element of it. Like it might not be the best well plotted out world in my opinion, but like I'm enjoying what we did create, and so I'm feeling still like it's going to be a 5-star at the end of the day. Like I'm enjoying reading this quite a bit. It's just a really long boy. It's pretty chunky. So yeah, that's my update on both of these.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, can I get a medium vanilla cold brew?
Medium vanilla cream cold brew, anything else?
Can I get 10 Timbits, just chocolate and birthday cake?
10 Timbits, birthday cake and chocolate glaze?
Yes, and
Anything else?
an everything bagel toasted with herb and garlic cream cheese.
Sure.
Thank you.
Making progress in Quicksilver. I have about 100 pages left, I think. I'm 75% in. Like, I made a good dent in this. It has kind of lost the 5-star vibe for me. I'm hoping it'll come back in this last part of the book. It's feeling a little bit too long in my opinion, and the romance isn't my like ride or die. Like I'm really enjoying them, but the switch from enemies to lovers just didn't feel as smooth as I wanted it to be. I was ready for them to become lovers, but I wish we had gotten small moments in the first 50% that had led up to them opening up a little bit more. Once they bang, they start to open up to each other, and I wish they had opened up to each other before banging. It just makes more sense in my brain of how a relationship works, and it just works better for me that way. But the scenes afterwards when they're starting to open up I really liked, but like it just felt like, oh, well, now you've been inside of me, you can know my darkest secrets, I guess. But like, I don't know. There's a lot of side characters I really like in this. I'm liking the plot. I'm liking the magic. I'm liking the world building though. So like I'm still having a really, really good time with this. I'm excited to dive back into reading. Like I want to finish it. I think it's going to be a book I'm recommending to a lot of people. I just needed to like say that aspect. Like that's pretty much my biggest complaint about the story. I still think it could be a 5-star in the end, but I just like had to point out that small little issue I'm having with it. But like other than that, like I really like the magic system and like the Quicksilver and the Forge. Like that's so cool. The only other time I feel like I've seen something done like this is Duel with the Vampire Lord. There are a lot of similarities, specifically with like a quarry and stuff. Quarry? I don't know how you say that word, but I liked both of those for that. Like I feel like it felt unique to me. I am really enjoying the plot of this quite a bit. Another 5-star from me. I'm riding a high of 5 stars. We don't need to talk about the 2-star in this or the DNF in this video, but 2 5-stars in one video is a lot for little old me. I don't know how to explain why I loved this book so much, why I enjoyed it so much, because I did have a complaint in the romance. I don't think the romance is the strongest part of the story, but the world building and the scale of this really got me, and the pacing. Like I was never bored in this story. Although it's a chunky boy, I feel like every note was hit. Like every time I needed something to change, something changed. It kept me turning the pages and going forward and forward. Do I think every note was maybe as like marvelous, as spectacular, as perfect as it could be? Probably not. It probably could have had me screaming, crying, throwing up about their romance a little bit more, but I don't think a book needs that to get 5 stars from me, because I was so enthralled in this story that it didn't matter that I might not be riding and dying for these characters as a couple at all times, because by the end of this book, I do think I was team them. Like, by the end of this book, I was like, okay, I see it. But it was that middle section where I was like, I could have used a little bit more. So I don't know. I feel like I'm really rambling. I really enjoyed this. I need more people to pick it up. I know it's getting hyped on TikTok. I know it's getting a lot of love. But like, whenever I love a book, I just need you guys to pick it up. Like, I need more people to read it. I want to be able to talk about it with everyone. I love when we can like rank all our men that we've read and like loved, and like we can just like giggle about all these books that we all love together. I love sharing my love of stories, and I think that this one has some really cool concepts in it that I need people to read about. Like, I need you to tell me if you like the Quicksilver. The Quicksilver seems so cool. The ending of this book, so much happened, and I need to talk about it with more people. Like, thought it was really well plotted. Like, I really enjoyed the plot line of this and the side characters. I think the characters are the strong suit, even though I don't root for the couple necessarily the way I wanted to. Each character had a very strong voice to me. I could clearly tell who each character was every time they were talking, and I think that's really, really positive of an author. Which brings me to the end of this little weekly vlog. Back to my regular scheduled programming next month of themes and things like that, but it was nice to have a few just like chill weeks together over the last couple weeks, 2 weeks. I did 2 weekly vlogs. The Romantasyathon, I definitely did not finish the entire 36 squares, but I made a pretty good dent, and I'm pretty proud of what I accomplished in it, considering I was only doing 1 book per square. This is what I accomplished this week. That is a lot of pages. I did pretty good. I didn't think I read this much. Wow, how did I read this much? What the? I'm impressed with myself. And in case you didn't know, I'm co-hosting a readathon in August called Battleathon. I'm gonna leave the announcement video on the screen for you to check out. I would love for you to join my team and to win. We get points by reading 5 stars, and I am on a 5-star high, so join my team. We're superior. Only 5 stars for us. If you're feeling chatty, I would love to know if you're a character person or a plot person. And if you're not feeling chatty, leave me a butterfly emoji in the comments down below, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.